Cruise lines are counting on you to walk into your cabin, drop your bags, and start unpacking within the first 5 minutes. And that is exactly the mistake that costs travelers thousands of dollars every single year. Before you place a single shirt in a drawer, there are more than 20 things you need to check, test, and document inside your cabin, and most passengers never do a single one of them. I went through hundreds of cruise cabin complaints and combined them with insider information from real cabin stewards, and what I found is that the first 30 minutes inside your cabin decide whether your trip stays smooth or turns into an expensive mess. Stay with me, because number 14 is the one that catches even experienced cruisers completely off guard. And it involves your own bed, and number 9 is the one that gets seniors billed for something they never touched. Most of these checks take less than a minute each, they cost you absolutely nothing, and yet almost nobody does them because cabin crew never mention them out loud, and cruise lines certainly are not going to hand you a list on your way in the door. Before we get into the full walkthrough, if this kind of practical cruise advice is useful to you, tap that subscribe button right now, because Senior Cruise Secrets posts a new cabin breakdown every week, and turning on notifications means you will never miss a checklist that could save your next cruise real money and real stress. Number 1, pick up your cruise card or medallion. The very first thing that happens once you step onto the ship is the handoff of your cruise card or your medallion, and most passengers barely glance at it before shoving it into a pocket. That small piece of plastic or that little disc is your room key, your onboard payment method, and your identification for getting on and off the ship at every port. A retired couple from Sarasota lost track of which card belonged to which spouse on day 1, and they spent the entire week accidentally charging drinks to the wrong account, creating a billing headache that took an hour at guest services to untangle on the last day. The fix is simple. The moment you receive your card or medallion, check the name printed on it, confirm the cabin number matches your assigned room, and keep it in the same pocket or lanyard every single day, so there is never any confusion about whose card is whose. Number 2, take photos and video of your cabin before unpacking. Cruise lines process damage claims after you have already left the ship, which means your word alone means very little without proof. The moment you open that cabin door, pull out your phone and record a full 60-second video walking through the entire room, zooming in on the carpet, the furniture, the balcony railing, and every corner of the bathroom. Say the date and the time out loud while you record so the video is time-stamped in your own voice. A retired teacher from Tampa skipped this step, enjoyed her cruise, and was hit with a $340 carpet stain charge on the final morning for a stain that was already there when she boarded. She had no evidence and no way to dispute it. Treat this video like an insurance policy, because if you cannot prove damage already existed, you will likely be the one paying for it. Save the video somewhere separate from your regular camera roll, such as a cloud backup or a dedicated folder, so it cannot get buried under hundreds of vacation photos and is easy to pull up quickly if a charge ever appears on your final bill, and it only takes about a minute of your time on the very first day. Number 3, put passports, wallets, keys, and valuables in the safe. Before you do anything else with your luggage, gather your passport, extra cash, jewelry, and especially your house and car keys, and get them locked away. A surprising number of seniors lose their house keys or car keys on disembarkation day simply because they were left loose in a suitcase pocket all week. Once your cabin feels lived in, it is easy to forget where you place something small and irreplaceable. Making this the very first task, before clothes ever leave the suitcase, removes the temptation to set valuables down somewhere temporary and then forget about them entirely. Number 4. Check the cabin door. Lock and do not disturb sign. Your cabin door is the single most important piece of security equipment in your entire trip, so test it properly. Close the door fully and make sure it clicks and locks on its own. Then use your card to open it again to confirm the reader works smoothly. Check that the deadbolt or privacy latch functions, and locate the Do Not Disturb indicator so you know exactly how to activate it during the safety drill or anytime you want privacy. A cabin door that does not seal properly is not just an inconvenience, it is a security risk, and reporting it in the first hour gets a maintenance technician out quickly, while reporting it at midnight often means waiting until morning. Number 5. Test the cabin safe by locking and unlocking it. This step made my blood boil when I first heard about it. A retiree from Dallas locked her passport, cash, and jewelry in the cabin safe on day 1, and on disembarkation morning, the safe would not open because the batteries had died. Security had to drill it open. She missed her flight home, and she paid nearly $700 to rebook. Safes run on batteries that are not always replaced between passengers, so test the safe while it is completely empty first. Lock it, then unlock it, and confirm the keypad responds instantly, and the door swings open smoothly. Only once you have confirmed it works should you lock away your passport, cash, and your house and car keys. Number 6. Check the air conditioning and temperature controls. Air conditioning trouble is consistently the most common cabin complaint from travelers over 60, and it takes the longest of any issue to get fixed. The moment you walk in, find the thermostat and set it to the coldest setting, then continue your other checks for the next 20 minutes. If the room has not noticeably cooled by then, call guest services immediately rather than waiting. A retiree from Phoenix did not test her air conditioning until bedtime, discovered the room was climbing past 78 degrees, called at 11 at night, and could not get a technician until 9 the next morning. Reporting a cooling problem in the afternoon usually gets it fixed while you are at dinner, while reporting it after dark often means a very uncomfortable night. This is especially worth prioritizing for travelers who are more sensitive to heat, since a warm cabin can affect sleep quality for the entire week if it is not addressed within the first day. Number 7. Do a quick bed bug check. I know this is not the vacation topic anyone wants to think about, but cruise ships do occasionally have bed bug incidents, and they are simply not publicized. Before your luggage touches anything, pull back all 4 corners of the mattress and look closely at the seams for tiny rust-colored spots or small dark specks. Check the headboard crevices and the area behind the nightstands as well. A retiree from Phoenix skipped this check, spent her cruise covered in bites, and by day 3 needed onboard medical attention that cost nearly $300 out of pocket. If you notice anything suspicious, leave the cabin immediately and go straight to guest services, and instead of naming the concern directly, simply say you need an immediate cabin change due to a sanitation issue, which triggers a faster inspection process. Number 8. Check the cabin for any signs of damage. While your damage video is rolling, slow down and actually look for scuffs, stains, tears, or broken fixtures rather than just filming quickly and moving on. Open every drawer, check the closet doors on their hinges, and inspect the furniture upholstery for existing wear. Anything you find should be photographed up close and mentioned out loud in your walkthrough video, and it is worth calling guest services in the first hour to have it formally noted on your account. Cruise lines assume the cabin was pristine when you boarded unless you tell them otherwise, so this small extra step protects you from being blamed later for damage you never caused. Number 9. Disinfect high-touch surfaces. Your cabin steward does an outstanding job, but with roughly 15 minutes per room and more than a dozen cabins to turn around, there is simply no time to disinfect every surface between guests. A retiree from Denver contracted norovirus on day 2 of her cruise and traced it directly back to the television remote, widely considered the single dirtiest item in any cabin. Pack alcohol wipes or disinfecting wipes in your carry-on since they are allowed on board, and wipe down the remote, the cabin phone, every door handle, the light switches, the thermostat buttons, and the safe keypad. Do not forget the bathroom faucet handles and the shower controls either, since those get missed constantly during turnover cleaning. It only takes about 5 minutes to wipe down the whole cabin this way, and doing it before you unpack means your hands and your luggage are never touching contaminated surfaces during the busiest, most cluttered part of settling in. Number 10. Test all lights, switches, and electrical outlets. Cabins hide outlets in unusual places, and a surprising number of them simply do not work. A retiree from Minneapolis plugged her medical equipment into the only outlet she could find, discovered at 11 at night that it was dead, and could not get maintenance until the following morning. Find every outlet and every USB port in the cabin and plug in a phone charger to confirm each one actually functions. Test every light switch too, including the reading lights by the bed and any switches near the entrance. Outlets behind the television and under the desk lamp tend to be the ones most commonly broken, so check those first and report any dead ones right away rather than waiting until bedtime. Number 11. Check the bed configuration. If you requested a king bed and walk in to find 2 twin beds pushed together, waiting until tonight to fix it means sleeping right in the gap between them. A retiree from Miami requested a king, received 2 twins with a noticeable gap in the middle, called housekeeping at 9 at night, and was told the fix would happen the next day, leaving her to roll uncomfortably into the crevice all night. Check the bed setup the moment you walk in, and if it is wrong, track down your steward in person rather than calling, since they typically carry a tool that can link the mattresses properly in just a few minutes when caught early in the day. Number 12. Check the balcony door and make sure it locks properly. If your cabin has a balcony, open the door and step outside briefly to confirm the lock and latch both function correctly, since a balcony door that does not seal well can let in humidity, noise, and even safety concerns overnight. On many modern ships, a sensor automatically shuts off the air conditioning the moment the balcony door opens. So avoid leaving it open for long stretches, and never open the balcony door and the hallway door at the same time, since that creates a wind tunnel effect through the cabin. Pick either the air conditioning or the ocean breeze at any given moment, because trying to have both at once usually just leaves you with a humid, uncomfortable room. It is also worth checking that the balcony furniture is secure and that the railing feels sturdy, especially before you plan on spending relaxed mornings out there with your coffee. Number 13, test the bed comfort and request extra pillows or blankets. Standard cabins increasingly do not come stocked with extras like robes, additional pillows, or pressing services, but nearly all of them are available if you simply ask early. A retiree from San Diego asked her steward for robes, extra pillows, and daily ice service within the first hour of boarding and received all three, while her neighbor asked on day 3 and was told supplies were already gone. Sit and lie on the bed for a moment to judge the mattress firmness, and if it feels too firm, politely ask your steward for a mattress topper or extra bedding right away. A simple, direct request, like asking whether a few comfort items are available, tends to get a fast and friendly response. Number 14, check the bathroom for leaks, odors, and water pressure. Bathroom malfunctions can take a full day or two to get resolved on a cruise ship, so if you discover a problem at midnight, you are often stuck until the following afternoon. A retiree from Atlanta turned on her shower on embarkation night and watched water pool around her ankles because the drain was clogged, and maintenance could not get to it until the next afternoon, causing her to miss her first port day entirely. Flush the toilet to confirm it works properly, run the shower for 30 seconds and watch how the water drains, check for any lingering odors, and press every soap and shampoo dispenser to confirm they are filled. If something is broken, calling guest services and clearly stating that you need maintenance dispatched for a sanitation concern tends to get faster priority than a general complaint. It also helps to test the water pressure specifically, since low pressure is often a sign of a clog developing further down the line, and catching it in the first hour is far easier than catching it after several days of gradual buildup. Number 15, find the hidden storage spaces before filling the room. Cabins are small, but most passengers only ever use the closet and completely miss the storage built into the rest of the room. A retiree from Denver lived out of her suitcase for an entire week simply because she assumed the closet was her only option, never realizing there were drawers beneath the sofa, shelves tucked behind the vanity mirror, and storage space inside the ottoman. Before you unpack a single item, check under the sofa and under the bed for drawers. Look behind any mirrors for shelving, and open the ottoman if your cabin has one. Using every available inch before you start filling the closet makes even the smallest cabin feel noticeably more spacious. Number 16, check the shower for toiletries and the clothesline. Take a moment to see exactly what toiletries are provided in your shower, since supplies can vary widely between cabin categories, and it helps to know what you need to pack extra of for the week. Many cabins also have a small retractable clothesline inside the shower area, which is extremely useful for drying swimsuits or hand-washed items overnight without cluttering the rest of the room. Checking this on day 1 rather than discovering it by accident later in the week means you can plan your daily routine around it from the very start instead of losing several days to trial and error. Number 17, turn on the TV and complete the mandatory safety drill. Most ships now deliver the mandatory safety briefing directly through the cabin television, and missing it or completing it late can hold up your entire party from being cleared for departure. Turn on the television as soon as you can, locate the safety drill channel, and complete the entire briefing so your cabin is marked as cleared. While the television is on, This is also the perfect time to look for the bridge camera channel, which many passengers never discover, especially those in interior cabins who otherwise have no sense of whether it is day or night outside. Leaving that channel on quietly in the background gives a helpful sense of time and location throughout the cruise. Number 18, check the cabin phone and learn how to contact guest services. Wipe down the cabin phone as part of your disinfecting routine, and then take 30 seconds to actually learn how it works, including the direct line to guest services and to your steward. In an emergency or even a minor maintenance issue, knowing exactly which button to press saves precious time compared to fumbling through instructions printed somewhere in your cabin guide. Many cabins also have a card near the phone listing emergency numbers and dining reservation lines, so it is worth reading through that card once on day one rather than searching for it under pressure later in the week. Number 19, check the mini fridge and ask about removing the mini bar. That mini fridge may look empty and ready for your own drinks and snacks, but on many newer ships it is not. A retiree from Portland moved a bottle of water to make room for her medication, not realizing the bottle sat on a sensor, and was automatically charged for it without ever drinking a drop, only noticing the charge when she reviewed her final bill. Take a photo of everything inside the fridge before you touch anything, and if you plan to store your own items, ask your steward to empty the minibar contents for you entirely, which is the safest way to avoid any surprise charges from items you never intended to use. If you would rather keep a few of the minibar items for the week, simply photograph each one individually and avoid rearranging them, since a sensor triggers the moment an item is lifted, not necessarily the moment it is consumed. Number 20, meet your cabin attendant and ask about available amenities. Your cabin steward controls access to a surprising number of comfort items that most passengers never think to ask about, from mattress toppers to extra hangers to daily ice service, and these tend to go to whoever asks first. A retiree from Boston asked her steward for a mattress topper within 10 minutes of boarding and received one immediately, while a friend traveling with her waited until that evening and was told supplies were already gone. Introduce yourself in the hallway within the first 30 minutes of boarding, learn your steward's name, and be warm and specific about what you need, whether that is extra towels, ice, or help with the bed configuration, since building that relationship early tends to result in noticeably better service for the rest of the week. Knowing all 20 of these checks will not matter much if you make a critical mistake at the terminal before you ever reach your cabin in the first place. New boarding rules in recent years have added stricter identification requirements and documentation checks that catch travelers over 60 off guard more than any other age group, and a single mistake at check-in can cost hundreds of dollars in rebooking fees and even a missed embarkation entirely. That is exactly what we are covering in the next video from Senior Cruise Secrets, walking through the embarkation day mistakes that get experienced cruisers denied boarding before they even see their cabin door. One traveler who followed a similar preparation checklist walked through check-in and security in under 20 minutes, while nearby passengers who had not prepared were still waiting well over 3 hours later, and the difference came down entirely to a handful of small details that almost nobody thinks to double check before they leave home. If this checklist saved you from even one of these headaches, do 3 things before you close this video. Hit like so. More travelers over 60 can find it, subscribe to Senior Cruise Secrets so you catch every new checklist the moment it goes live, and share this with a friend or family member who has an upcoming cruise booked, because the first 30 minutes in that cabin really can make or break the entire trip.